What's good, y'all? It is your boy, Mr. G, and my boy, Huss over here.
Going on.
We are back with episode 4 of the One Piece Runback with
Damn.
the Straw Hat Sit Down crew. We know it's been a
Yes, sir.
while, but we are here. Um, Huss, how are you doing today, brother?
I'm chilling, man. I'm glad we finally got this going. It's guys, it was my fault. So let's just keep it real. Let's keep it real. It took a while, but we're here, man. We had a great arc. I think this is where One Piece starts to get amazing. So I'm excited to talk about it.
Same. So episode 4, we are entering the BARATIE arc. I know some would say, I know I definitely would say it's probably the first S tier arc.
Completely agree.
Right? I know we were saying that before, and it's the introduction of Sanji, of Mihawk. Um, so many things happen in this arc, and with that being said, and if you want to keep us going, please drop a sub.
Oh
I
yeah.
keep forgetting to say that early on. Drop us up on YouTube. We at 255. Help us get to 260, 300 subs. That'd be awesome. And thank you guys for everything.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, let's get into it because this arc is one of the best in my opinion, and then going back to rereading it was definitely a true delight.
Yeah.
So
Agreed. Yeah, man. It was a super fun arc, and let's just get right into it.
yeah,
So you come off the Syrup Village arc. You
mm,
have four of the crew so far, and you're wondering like what's next. And so the first thing they do is they don't even really get to the next island. They're just trying to use the ship that they just got
yep.
and start letting off some cannonballs. And this is where we meet Johnny and Yosaku because obviously they destroy the rock that they're sitting on. They attack the ship, but
Well,
what really
you have to specify who destroyed it, right? Because
yeah,
it wasn't
specifically
it's specifically
Usopp.
Usopp and Luffy
Yeah,
goofing
yeah.
around. 'Cause Usopp's like, oh, I've done this before, like type of shit, and
And he does show his marksmanship,
he
for
did,
sure,
he did.
but at a cost. He really hurts these guys, and we can see why they're mad too. They're already hurt. I believe it's Yosaku who
Yeah,
has some problems. He's really sick, and
scurvy.
yeah, which we learn from Nami. And this, what I like about this scene is that, and obviously Johnny and Saku play a big part in this arc more so the next one really.
Yeah,
But they're not they're not minor guys. But what I really like about this scene is that it shows Nami is really uh
knowledgeable.
dots her eyes and like cross her teeth. So she's yeah, and she wants to help them out. She's a great kind person. Uh and yeah, the sea is a scary place if you're not prepared.
Yep.
I think that's what this scene really shows. And it's cool to see Nami want to help out.
Yeah. No. Showing her knowledge,
Yep.
showing that she knows the seafaring ways of 101. And it was really cool to see. And then she's like, oh, he's got scurvy. Easy way to get rid of that. Have some oranges, which is
Boom.
her staple fruit.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. And then like it makes sense because Oda brings that because actually is actual true. You need they like back then they used to have citrus, orange, lemons, and stuff like that to
Yep.
counteract scurvy in real life. So it was cool Oda showing that. We see Johnny and Yusaku who are also Zoro's boys, which
Very
was
important. Yeah.
which was cool. Seeing the Zoro's past and stuff like that. Because Zoro's one of the best, and also
Yep.
Johnny and Yusaku are really cool characters. Which we haven't really seen them back in the future, right?
I know. Yeah, it's one of those guys we really don't get much of, which is sad. But hey,
Which
man,
I think that
everyone can't stay with us.
the day they do, everyone's gonna bug out because
Yeah, absolutely, man, absolutely.
everyone
So
remembers them
yeah,
now.
I
I
think it
love
was
those
a great
guys.
point. A great point you bring up about them being Zoro's boys. That's where you can't forget that.
Yeah,
We get to see more about Zoro's bounty hunting business. But yeah, so now that Johnny and Saku are squared away, they got their business settled. They're staying with them a little bit as they move forward. I guess they, I guess they decided to kick it with them, and we move on to the actual
they
setting of the arc. And I
they
think,
got to, bro. Their rock was destroyed by Usopp. Like they have
yeah,
to.
yeah, I think they have like their own little boat. I think, but I guess they still decided like, yeah, you know what, we're with and they felt very entitled, grateful too. They start calling them all brother. Even Nami, they call
Yeah.
brother Nami.
Yep.
So yeah, they definitely like locked in now. And we move on to the actual setting of the arc, and I think we should take a second to talk about how cool Baratie is as a
Yes.
place and an idea in a fantasy world. You know, it's I think it's a cool like dichotomy that there's a restaurant on the sea. Obviously, the building itself is kind of funny. You know, has like a fish head or whatever,
Hmm.
but it's very high class. It's not like a fast food joint. It's a sit down and
Yeah.
waiters and like wine, all that stuff. And it's in the East Blue, more of a chill place. And it's just such a cool contrast between the vast sea and such a fantastic world, but then you get to see something that's really realistic and something that feels familiar to us here at home in the real world, right? I think it's a cool little contrast and a great area for the next arc.
No, agreed. And how he got there too is Luffy, classic Luffy. He smells food. He's because he's like, where's that smell coming from? I'm hungry. And then they find this ship on the sea. That's a restaurant, and
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's one of the coolest ships out there.
Hell
Uh,
yeah.
in One Piece, and I think to talk about the live action real quick, I think the live action did a great job
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
in in replicating the Baratie in the live action One Piece.
Yeah. It seemed huge. It
It's
seemed like
huge.
yeah.
A few floors. You got the kitchen. Like one floor is the kitchen. The other floor, the
Business
dining
was going
hall.
well, definitely.
It definitely was, and it was such a great idea too, because
It's just fantastical.
the ocean is so vast, and like people could be stranded, people could be like just drifting, and just to find a restaurant on the sea. Zep should really think about creating chains and
Yeah, yeah, franchising.
franchising himself, bro. Go to the other oceans, bro. East Blue and he's in the East Blue already, so the West, North, and South.
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely, man. That's actually hilarious. So yeah, and you bring up some great points, and it kind of ties to the themes of the arc. And obviously, Oda, melding the themes with the settings and the characters, he's a master at it. So we don't really get to interact with the Baratie first. There's a marine ship that causes a little bit of scare for Luffy and them.
Yes.
This marine captain is off duty, but he still wants to scare them a little bit. And before going off, he tells his crew sink their ship. And in defense, Luffy uses his rubber to balloon himself, which I think is the first time we get to see this move.
Yeah. Yeah. It is.
Yeah, a very iconic move, Gum Gum Balloon,
Gum Gum
and
Balloon.
yeah, and
Like
he explodes. He balloons and he bounces the cannonball, but misses the marine ship and hits the Baratie.
yes,
And this is how the entire arc starts. So full body. We can talk about full body a little bit.
I guess
And so
if we have to.
yeah, oh man. But after like getting into Luffy a little bit, even he's shocked, but he blames it on the pirates, obviously, and no one's gonna go against him.
Yep.
And so he sits down at the Baratie. He has a little dinner with his wife or his girl or whatever, and he's shown up in a few ways, right? He tells the waiter, "Oh, this must be this drink," but I don't know if Sanji switched it on purpose, the what he planned to set up didn't get set up, so he looked stupid because the wine was a whole different drink. He got mad at Sanji for correcting him, throws a bug in the soup, and he keeps getting angry and angry, and he throws the soup and all the food to the ground. He destroys the table. And
Hmm.
I think we talk a little bit about how full body is a little bit of like a hothead, and it's surprised that he even caught some of the pirates that he has in his uh in his hold, but obviously we know why. They weren't fully ready to fight him. But yeah, man, that's full body. But then we get to see Sanji. What does Sanji do, Mister Once full body, destroys the food?
He just put him on the ground, bro. Like
Yeah,
it,
obliterates him.
it just like quick, fast, and in a hurry, bro. Just
Yeah,
and
we
in
don't even
front of
see
his
the
girl,
panels.
bro. Yeah, like it was so fast. He just like Sanji don't play, bro. Don't
Yeah,
don't don't waste food around him. And what an introduction to a character. Like one of the best characters. Even though his gag gets annoying. Uh,
yeah, it can be. Yeah,
especially like later on. But
yeah,
early on, like this Sanji, like meeting him, he's just very kind man. And like I don't know, it's just I fucking love Sanji a lot, dude. Like I think the
oh
more
man,
the more
yeah,
we go back, not I love Zoro, like he's my second favorite, but I feel like Sanji gets some of these hits that really, really gets you. And
Absolutely.
um, so yeah, Sanji takes down full body, and like it was crazy.
It's freaking sick, and I think we talk about his kindness, and I think the kindness really helps because the first time we see him here, he seems like a very brass individual. I mean, he beats this guy to a
Yeah,
pulp for
yeah.
throwing food to the ground.
He's
And
cursing at him and the chef are arguing.
yeah,
Pat,
yeah,
Patty and Carne, right?
yeah,
Also
yeah.
fighting with them too. So like you think he's very arrogant. He comes out very arrogant and rude a little bit, you know.
Hmm.
But he's not that, because like you said, he does show his kindness right after.
Yeah, immediately next up. So next up, that the pirate that Full Body had in his hold escaped, and he comes to the ship. This guy named Geen, and he's very hungry, starving. And but Patty, we get to learn about how the Baratie are fighting chefs, right? They don't take shit from no one. But so when he doesn't have money to pay, he puts a gun to Patty's head and says, "Do you take lead though?" And Patty kicks him the hell out. Like, no, we're not doing none of this. Showing the Baraties, their might. But Sanji can't let this stand. He brings a plate to him outside, and who sees this other than Luffy? And Luffy says, I found my cook, the new pirate, the new member they're looking for.
Hmm.
What do we think of Sanji's, little, showcase of gratitude, of kindness here?
Well, it just goes to show his character.
Absolutely.
We saw it before. He does not like to waste food. One thing he doesn't like to do even more is let people starve.
Yeah.
And he quickly whipped up some fried rice for him for Gin.
Hmm.
And Luffy was just watching the whole time, and he was just in awe. He was like, "Wow, this guy, that's the guy that I want cooking for my team and being with us on this journey." And uh, once you saw Sanji, you knew, and then especially when
Yeah.
when he did that, because especially with how Patty and them were so reluctant to feed Gin, like the only thing about like the money aspect, but anything about like the aspect of like what giving food to someone means, like you helping them survive, go on another day, you know, and that goes a long way, especially in this world that they live in of One Piece.
Yeah, a vast ocean, between lands. You don't know when you're gonna get to the next spot. It's terrifying, man. So Sanji, maybe shows that he knows something about that and gives Gin some food.
Yeah,
And so
not just that. Also, yo, Gin, real quick, he's mad cold, bro. When
yeah,
when
he's
when he's
the
like,
best.
can pay you back in lead? Like that's
That
like
was crazy.
this dude is on his dying legs, and he's still cold as fuck, bro. Like,
Yeah, and I like that it goes show like how like that like the pirates in this world are really really like there's some cutthroat dudes right there.
yeah, no, they really are, and I can't wait.
He's cool, man.
Gin's a very cool character, and I think, did we bring up the fact that Luffy's a chore boy now for Baratie?
Oh no, but yeah, that's important to bring up that because of the cannonball crash, he
Yes,
hurts he hurts Zeph's leg or peg leg, and Luffy stuck there doing chores
yeah.
for about a month, I think, maybe a year. It's
No, it's
supposed to be,
supposed
but
to be for a year,
yeah,
and
yeah,
so,
yeah.
so
And she tries to get it down, but it doesn't work.
no, it does not. And so that's why Luffy's there in the back of the kitchen. Otherwise, he wouldn't be
Damn.
back there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's how he gets to see.
He
Yeah,
gets to see
Sanji.
Sanji in action and all that stuff.
Great point. Great point.
Um, so everyone keeps calling him chore boy, and
Yeah, that's his nickname the whole arc.
and he's fucking he is doing the dishes, mopping, whatever, but he's not really doing the dishes. He's breaking the dishes. Like,
Yeah, he can't do nothing.
let's be honest with you, and he's
Yo,
doing more harm than good for them. So I think that was a running gag throughout the arc that I
yeah, it was
really
hilarious,
enjoyed. I
man.
really
Yeah,
enjoyed.
it was super funny, man. Luffy kills me, bro. And I
Yeah.
think I like this scene about the Sanji one. I think Luffy noticing this and being like, yeah, like you said, like this is my guy. I think that also reflects, very very well on Luffy too. It
Yep.
was sick.
Also, he's
Um,
a great judge of character.
yes, absolutely. When he wants someone on his crew, like it's always a good pick.
Hmm.
And so Gin leaves, and so he thanks Sanji, he's like, yeah, I won't make trouble for you, and he dips, and Sanji, and he's like, yo, you're gonna get in trouble with your head chef. Sanji's like, where's the evidence? And he throws the plate into the sea. I love that shit. Um, but when Gin leaves, he actually finds the remainder of his crew that was in the Grand Line, that left the Grand Line with him, and he got caught for some reason. But he meets them out on the sea after leaving the Baratie, and he didn't and the guy, his leader, Don Krieg, who we don't really know yet, tells him, "Yo, lead us there," and then that's all we see of that for a while.
Yeah.
But Zeph tells Sanji, like, "Dude, you're always making trouble for us. Why don't you just get out of here?" And we get to see a little bit about Sanji really doesn't want to leave. He's like, "Yo, you're not making me go anywhere."
Yeah.
And then later on, Nami, one of the next few days, Nami, Usopp, and Zoro are sitting at the restaurant having a good time. Sanji has obviously a funny gag where he treats Nami better than the other guys because she's a woman. Uh, just has some very funny moments
Yeah.
before the shit really hits the fan in this arc. It's cool to see like some fun interactions between Sanji and our crew to this point. But next up is the real problem, how the arc really gets going, where Gin ends up leading Krieg back to the Baratie, and Krieg pulls up saying, "Yo, I got 100 men back there who are starving, and we need you all to feed them." And obviously, Patty and Karn don't want to do it, and especially because we know that Don Krieg is a demon, a guy who ran the Grand Line, who ran the East Blue and then got to the Grand Line. But
Did he have the
but
highest? Did he have the highest bounty in the East Blue? No, right?
I think Arlong ends up having it, but
Okay. Okay.
but he's up there. He's like 15 or something like that.
Yeah.
And so they don't want to feed him, but he makes even crazier demands that you would think would make them want to feed him less. He wants Zeph's. We reveal here that head chef Zeph used to be a pirate called Red Leg Zeph, right?
Yes.
And Krieg is saying that in the Grand Line we got obliterated by one dude,
Yep.
right? And that's crazy in and of itself. The fact that the Krieg Armada was obliterated, but by one guy, and but Krieg believes that with Red Leg Zeph's logbook, the secret to existing in the Grand Line will be in there. You know what I mean? And yeah, so crazy reveal that the Baratie, was run by
He
a former
just he
pirate.
just he just wants the cheat code to put it
Yeah,
down.
yeah, he wants to cut corners, man, and we know that's not how it goes.
That's not how it goes.
No, no, sir. So we get to see their ship, and the ship is, an absolute mess. We learn that one person's responsible. But out of nowhere, Johnny and Yosaku pull up to tell Zoro and Usopp and Luffy that Nami has disappeared. She made off with the ship and the treasure that the bounty hunters had from chasing bounties. And we'll get back to that for sure. But one of the most important parts of the arc is that the one of the strongest people in the world arrive at the Raw team is the
Yes, he did.
Mihawk, the guy that has obliterated uh,
Yeah,
the
dude. How did
big
he?
bad
How did
guard.
he show up?
You know,
Let them know. Let them know. How did he show up, bro?
in a coffin boat,
In a
just
coffin.
chilling on his ones.
Not just that, but he just sliced
Yeah.
this huge ship, bigger than the Baratie, which is already big as you know, way bigger than the Mary, one of the biggest ships that we've seen. And in one slice, this man just cut that shit in half. That's why I'm wearing this shirt right here, right now.
Let's go. Let's go. That's amazing, man. Great choice. So yeah,
Strive to surpass me, baby. Oof.
yeah, man. We'll get to see more. And so we learned that this guy Mihawk, when asked why Mihawk might have been after them, Krieg and the Green Pirates, they were scared, right?
Yep.
The Krieg Pirates, and Red Leg Zeph tells them that, bro, you might have just interrupted his nap, and that might have been enough, and so now that he's here, they're terrified again. But
Yeah, didn't he say that he got bored or some shit like that?
yeah,
Like,
because they asked him like, "Yo, why are you doing this to
yeah,
us?" When
yeah,
he came back, he's like, "Yo, I'm bored,"
yeah.
which is insanity. The strongest man in the world chasing you to the East Blue because he's bored. That's insane. But we have to skip, some of we have to get past some of the Krieg Pirates because really what we're here for is Zoro.
Yep.
Because Zoro has been chasing this guy the whole time, and he comes face to face and he tells him that my goal is standing right in front of me, and we know that Zoro wants to be the strongest swordsman in the world,
Mm-hmm.
and he and so him and Mihawk get into it, and Mihawk asks him like, what drives your your heavy-handed swordsmanship, your ferocious swordsmanship. I love those descriptions of Zoro's fighting style. And he tells him that his promise to a friend. So as the fight starts, Zoro uses onigiri, which has destroyed everything so far, and Mihawk pulls out a knife from his cross necklace.
Yes,
It can't
sir.
be bigger than his hand, and stops all three of Zoro's blades with one move.
Yep.
Johnny and Yosaku can't even believe it. Even Zoro can't believe it.
And he's trying so hard, and this whole time we've been seeing Zoro working out like he is the strongest guy that we know. You know what I mean? And he cannot
Absolutely.
even make this dude budge, bro.
He says that he's like, is the gap really this big? And
Yep.
it's just kind of sad if you've competed at all, you know how heartbreaking it is when you realize you're not there yet,
Yep.
And clearly, and this is his life, and his promise to Kuina.
Damn.
And so
Bro, that line just got me, bro. It just reminded me of all the times playing Dragon Ball Fighters, and I'm just getting washed. And I was like, is the gap really this big?
like, are these guys this good? Right?
Like,
Yeah, they are, man.
oh man, oh
But
god,
just like Zoro, if you stick with it, you can get close so far.
yeah,
And but right now is not the time. And Mihawk stabs Zoro in the chest with his little knife. And but I should have mentioned that when he pulled out the knife, and Zoro's like, "What's that toy?" He says, "Do you use a hammer to chase rabbits?" Like like it's just such a like a
it was
oh,
like
you're
a
nothing.
cannon or something like that, right? Wasn't
Yeah,
like,
cannon. Yeah, cannon. Yeah, like you're nothing, bro. I need a butter knife to play with you,
yeah,
and which it gets proven he basically wins already with the knife in his chest. But Zoro doesn't step back, and Mihawk asks him, like, "What are you crazy? Do you want to die?" And Zoro tells him like, "Yo, if I feel like if I back up now, my dreams and my ambitions will be destroyed." And Mihawk
yeah,
says, "Yeah, nigga, that's loss. That's what losing is, right?"
yeah.
But Zoro does not back up. Mihawk actually is the one that takes the knife out, steps back, and pulls out the his black blade, Yoru. Uh,
Yoru. Shout out to
he
Franklin
tells him,
Belt, yo. He made his own Yoru. That shit beautiful.
"Yeah, that is amazing. His replica of that is crazy."
Yeah,
But the real one is on display here, and he says, "I'll give you the honor of taking you down with this blade." And basically, at this point, realizing that Zoro, in some ways, has gained Mihawk's respect, even though he couldn't touch him. The ferociousness of his swordsmanship, the commitment to his ambition, made a difference to Mihawk. So Mihawk decides to honor him by taking out Yoru. Zoro pulls out what he calls the three sword style secret technique, Sanzen Sekai. I think it means 3,000 worlds, and spins his blades, dashes at Mihawk. They cross swords. They're both past each other now, and Zoro's swords in his hands shatter.
both of them.
And yeah, both those swords in his hand shatter, and he gets cut up and bleeds. Mihawk isn't even touched. Um, as Zoro falls into the ocean, Mihawk gives him a speech about making your way up to me. My name is Dracul Mihawk. I'm the greatest in the world, and I'll be waiting for you at the top. So make it there. And he tells Luffy that he left him alive, and he didn't. He made sure not to kill him. And I think another important point of this part is that Johnny and Yosaku wanted to jump in once Zoro got stabbed,
Yeah,
but Luffy was like, "No, don't interfere."
yeah.
Which Mihawk actually gives him a shout out for. He's like, "Yo, it was good of you to do that." And he asked Luffy, like, "What do you want to be?" And Luffy says, "The King of the Pirates," which is like, "Oh, that's gonna be even harder than beating me," referencing Zoro's goal.
Yeah.
And lastly, Mr. Zoro gives Luffy a promise. And what was the promise?
Oof. I'm never gonna lose again. I'm
Big
never
claim
going to lose again.
in
And
tears.
in tears, bro, while holding his sword. The is it the Wado Ichimoji?
Yeah,
Right,
the one from Kuina. Yep.
from Kuina, holding that up in the air, and he's just in tears, bro. Um, One thing that I really loved about this was when Zoro lost, and like he could have backed away, and he got sliced on his chest, because he's like a sword slice on the. If I were to run
Yes.
away,
Yes.
a sword slice on my back is a swordsman's greatest shame, because it shows that you were trying to run away,
Yeah.
and he took that shit across the chest, like that was
And it
crazy.
stays with him. It stays with him the
Yeah,
rest of his life.
yeah,
And
he still has it to this day, like this big ass scar on his chest, thanks to Mihawk.
yeah.
Another thing I loved was Mihawk's demeanor, um,
Yeah.
and I think he was shown very well in the live action as well too. I think
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
actor portrayed his Mihawk's demeanor so well.
He killed it.
He did.
It's befitting of someone who's the greatest anything in the world. You know, it's
Yeah,
like you gotta. There's a certain level of respect you have to have for yourself and your opponents.
bro. Like he was swinging that sword so effortlessly. Like it was
Yeah, that
crazy.
guy was a beast, actually. Yeah, yeah, man. It's amazing, and I think could you take the next part about Nami,
Oh,
her reluctance, and how when they show her crying over the decision to leave.
oh. I mean, she has her reasons. We don't really know it yet, right?
Yeah,
Um, but she felt like they were going to lose, and she made the correct decision, and she bounced. I mean, correct for
yeah,
her, obviously, because she knows Luffy and Zoro at this point, and she's like, they're not gonna back away from this situation.
yeah. And another thing is that like when she leaves and she ends up like going back to her own village, and she's crying, and specifically another point is that she didn't really want to leave them. uh
Yeah, she
Clearly
did.
she seems compelled to for some reason, because she says like I wish, I hope that if we ever run into the again, we can still be, we can still Swiss sail together. And
Yeah,
she's crying as she says it, and she says a line that now, with what we've read in the last few chapters of One Piece, hits really hard. I
that's
can't wait to be free.
yeah.
That I read that in the reread, and I was like, wow, what a hard hitting line. And she says a name that we don't know yet, Bellemere.
Hmm.
Uh, and obviously we won't learn anything more this arc, but next arc, Nami's gonna come back for sure.
It's true. Damn, that hits hard.
Yeah,
Not just
it
that, but I started
really,
thinking about
really.
like, because they talk about we didn't talk about too much of the past of Sanji and Zeph, or they didn't go
Yeah,
into.
it comes up in like a few
Oh yeah,
sections.
yeah, yeah. You're right. So,
Yeah.
but one thing with Mihawk, um, I love that Sanji watched Zoro
Yes.
do this, and not just Zoro, like Zeph and all them. She watched Zoro and fight for his dream, and that's something that I think is very important for Sanji's development in this arc.
Yeah, and Sanji brings it up like when Zoro was stabbed, he's like, dude, it's easy to live. All you have to do is like throw away your dreams and ambition. Which,
Yeah.
if you think about now, like it's such a like that's so important to the Straw Hats that they wouldn't say anything like that now.
Hmm.
And it just goes to show that like and even in this arc, Sanji puts his life on the line, basically willing to die for his dreams and or someone else's dreams and ambitions.
Yeah.
So he's saying that, like when push comes to shove, Sanji knows what that's like too.
Yeah.
Um,
And he
so
shows
it just
that.
goes to
He
show,
shows that later on.
yeah, exactly. They're cut from the same cloth, and it's crazy for him to see, Zoro do the same thing. That's probably part of why he made a decision to join in the end, which all of us know at this point.
Mhm.
But yeah, so Mihawk is fulfilled after defeating Zoro, giving these guys a goal. He says, "You know what, man, I'm out of here." And some of the Kreeg pirates, I think Kreeg is like, "Dude, you're not going anywhere." And his members are like, "Dude, let him leave if he wants to leave." I found that really really funny.
That was funny.
Um, but and then so uh, the second unit commander, the guy under Geen, actually Pearl
Ugh.
appears.
Ugh.
Uh, the Baratie actually puts their fins up, so like a segment comes up from underneath, and now there's a fighting plateau for
Yeah.
the for the staff to try to fight back the pirates. And Pearl is up there, and Sanji is giving Pearl the work. But before anything continues, Geen sneaks up from behind. Zeph braces peg leg, holds him hostage at gunpoint.
Yeah.
And Sanji, Sanji can't do anything at this point now, and Pearl just beats the crap out of him. A lot of just underhanded work from the Kreeg pirates, specifically Gin, which is crazy because of how much Sanji helps Gin earlier.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what can you do?
Hey, they pirates,
Um,
bro. They pirates.
Absolutely. And so Gin is just saying that, dude, I won't shoot this guy as long as you guys get off the ship. But Sanji is in a way being stalwart. He's not fighting back so that he isn't like inside Gin to shoot, but he's also not getting out of the way. He's Pearl has to beat him and beat him and beat him, and everyone's like, dude, why? And he says, because the ship is the geezer's pride and joy.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's like, damn, I thought you hated this guy. Like what happened? But then we learn Sanji starts talking more and more, and Zeph even tells him like, now it's not the time, but Sanji says, no, they have to know about why this shit matters to us so much.
Yep.
And we get to hear about how when Sanji was a kid, he's on a cook ship, and it was overrun by pirates, who was run at the time by Red Leg Zeph.
Yes, sir.
It was storming on the ship. One of Red Leg Zeph's pirates tries to take Sanji's ship's food, but Red Leg Zeph stops him. He kicks him. He's like, "How many times have I told you we're not taking anyone's food? That's too much, you know."
Yeah, yeah.
Sanji's the people on the ship with Sanji are, they understand it's very dangerous. They're letting them do whatever they want so they can get out of there with their lives. But Sanji has a knife out. He's like, I'm not letting you guys kill me. I have a dream. I'm gonna see the all blue. And the Zeph pirates laugh at him. They're like, "Yo, Zeph, tell this kid, he's not going anywhere." But
Not just the pirates, but also the people on Sanji's crew too.
yeah, his supposed staff,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
his coworkers, they laugh at the kid, and it's it makes Zeph think a little bit,
Yeah.
but the storm gets getting crazier and crazier, and he's initially he was gonna leave, like maybe even just give Sanji a kick, get out of there, but Sanji actually in the storm, Sanji falls off the ship, and Zeph, I don't even think he really thought about it. He just acted. He breaks
Instinctive.
part of the mast off. Yeah, exactly. He breaks part of the mast off, jumps after Sanji, and when Sanji wakes up, they're on a rock, and Zeph has already bagged up some food. He gives Sanji a little bag, and he has a huge bag of food for himself. And he says, "Yo, go to that end of the rock, face the other way. If you see a ship, then you come for me."
Yeah.
And so Sanji goes to that side. And obviously, if he wanted to get all that big food, he couldn't do anything because that's way bigger than him, right? He just gets mad. He grumbles that he got such a small piece of the food, and he goes to his end. I think like days and months later, he decides he's had enough,
Bro,
and
it was like 90 days. Like
yeah, like literally
it
like
was a
3 months,
lot. Yeah.
4 or 5 months later. So he decides that he's going to go attack Zeph and take the food, and he runs up on Zeph, and the bag has not been opened. Zeph is sitting there, and actually, it's funny. There's a little bit of a difference in the anime
Yes.
and the manga,
Hmm.
where I think it might just be 4 kids, but
That's definitely why.
where his leg gets chopped off when he's getting out of the ship and the storm. But here, he doesn't have a leg already, and Sanji's like, "What the heck?" And we learn that Zeph had taken a rock and smashed his leg off and ate his foot
Yep.
to survive, and had given Sanji. And Sanji tries to stab at the bag, and only treasure falls out. Zeph basically gave the kid everything, put his life at risk, eating his own food, starving, for the kid to have a better chance of making it out. And Sanji asks why, and it's because Zeph says, "You had the same dream as me
Yep.
to see the all blue."
That shit, yo, I'm getting emotional. That shit was
It's making
beautiful.
me emotional,
Bro,
honestly.
bro, because like Zeph's like you're the future. You're the same
Yeah,
dream as me, like the same as ambition. I can't let you die here.
yeah, and
Like
it goes to show like how much it all matters. And the reason the Kreig Pirates even had a chance of fighting is because Zeph was the one that gave them all that food, in the present time.
yeah,
And he says to the fighting staff that are obviously very mad, the rest of the chefs, that you guys don't know what it's like to starve
yeah,
and go without food. And in that panel, we get to see Sanji. This is like before they all started fighting, and we don't really understand why they show Sanji there. But now we know that both these guys literally like were dying on a rock. And thankfully, at the very end, the ship finds them, and now we know how they survived. But that's why it means so much to Sanji, because Zeph saved his life back then,
yeah,
and that's why he won't let the ship be destroyed.
yeah.
Uh,
And Zeph's dream die. One of his
yeah,
dreams at least.
and Sanji says one of my favorite lines. He says, "Why I'm not moving, so this place can be a ship just 1 second longer for Zeph." And that line really hit me in the reread. Yeah, what do you think of that amazing backstory and stuff?
Bro, the change from anime to manga is crazy because like he had to cut off his leg underwater because it was tied to something and holding him back, and to save Sanji, he had to cut off his leg. But the fact
Mhm.
that he cut his leg and ate it for survival, it goes to show the gravity that
Yeah,
to the world of One
absolutely.
Piece is. You know what I mean? Just being a pirate, having a chance of being stranded like that. Not only did he not go crazy, but he was also starving. Like he could have easily just killed this kid,
Yeah.
and then taken his food, but he didn't. He felt a kinship towards Sanji, and he took him on, and they've been together ever since. And one thing that I liked was that there was a one panel where you see Sanji, uh, what's it called? You see Sanji, like it was raining, and he sees a ship, and he's calling for the ship,
Yeah.
right? And then but then that ship left because they couldn't hear him. When
Ah.
the people that come back is actually from that ship, and they're like, a month ago, I heard someone yelling over here. If you go back and reread it, and they actually mention it, so that
Damn.
they said
Yeah.
they came back and they wanted to just check just in case because they thought they heard someone here, and that ended up being the fucking case.
Damn. How lucky.
Yeah, dude. And like it, any longer time, one of them would have died. But
Yeah.
and it's crazy because uh, people think One Piece is goofy, funny, and all that shit, but it got dark. That's a dark story,
Yeah,
and
it really, really is. Like a man ate his own foot. There's like a kid is starving. Like
yeah,
it's really, it's graphic and it's gruesome. But I think it really goes to show like how how realistic and like the story is about people and humans,
yeah,
and
yeah,
we can see like how sometimes it's really that's the route life goes. Sometimes
yeah,
you got to be thankful it's not us right now.
yeah. It's true.
And appreciate what you can learn from it, and so after hearing that this amazing backstory and how and Luffy finally understands why. So he realizes that okay, the ship is important and the ship is important to Zeph, and because of that, Sanji's gonna die to protect it. So Luffy's like, okay, cool. I'm gonna destroy the ship.
Yeah,
like a very direct A to B, like line of thinking from Luffy, which is very character for him.
it definitely
And
is.
and Sanji obviously like, yo, what the heck? It's not this doesn't make any sense. But Luffy gives him a legendary, line about how dying is not how you pay back your debts. And I think that's a very important thing that you have to learn is that like risking your life is not the same as giving it up, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
So hearing this, Luffy actually does an axe kick on the fin. He destroys one of them, but before that he could destroy the whole ship, Krieg says, "F this! I'm gonna clear it all out with a poison bomb," and he shoots it towards Luffy and the ship. But it was a fake. He actually faked them all out. It ends up being some spikes. We have to realize that Krieg is another person that doesn't fight clean. He fights dirty.
Like his
Um,
crew, like his crew.
yeah, exactly. And so Gin was the one who fought dirty earlier, but now that he heard this backstory and he remembered Sanji's kindness, he
Hmm.
actually decides that I'm not going to use this hostage situation.
Yeah.
Sanji, I'm going to fight you 1-on-1.
Yep.
And
And
surprisingly, Sanji loses. Obviously, he was injured from the Pearl fight, having to get his ass beat when Zeph was held hostage. But he does lose to Gin, and Gin has him down. And before he can end it, he realizes that he just can't kill Sanji. He was too nice. He's the only person that was nice to him in his life so far, and he tells Krieg, "I can't do it. You're gonna have, like I just can't." So Krieg actually shoots the poison bomb this time, and Luffy takes two masks from the Kreig Pirates and throws them to Sanji and Gin, um, and somehow one ends up near Luffy, like a random mask, and Luffy has it on, and then the smoke clears, and once the smoke clears, we see Sanji on the ground, being a mask held on his face by Gin, who doesn't have one because
mm-hmm.
he gave his to Luffy.
Yep.
What a
Bro,
what
what
a
a
turn of
G,
events!
bro.
What a real one, man!
He
What an
is.
absolute
And
real one.
another thing to note is that they kept calling him the demon, right? Right.
Yeah,
And because Gin, like, yo, he was putting the work on Sanji, bro.
yeah, he was really giving the work, and they were both hurt and injured,
Yeah.
but Sanji like it's crazy. Even injured, Sanji lost. That's like even injured. I know like it's still injured, but still,
Yeah.
Sanji losing is not a small thing.
It's not. It's
No matter
not.
what arc it is.
That's why I'm like, Gin might be. To me, I think he was kind of OD, and
Yeah, he was really
I
really
I
strong.
think he might have been actually stronger than Don Creek.
He might have been honestly. I think
Don
Sanji
Creek,
might have
Don Creek
felt
was
so. Yeah,
was was relying too much on all his little gadgets and knickknacks and shit.
yep,
Gin, like that dude, you know, if he didn't have
straight up.
respect for Don Creek, he would have definitely taken over, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
absolutely. And I'm glad you bring it up actually, because another thing that was important about the demon aspect was how dedicated he was to Don Krieg.
Yeah,
All the Donkey Pirates are shocked that Gin, didn't fulfill his orders. And one thing that I actually never remembered until I reread the arc was that the reason Gin was in Full Body's hold was that when they came back out of the Grand Line, Full Body had caught their ship, like in their darkest hour, and Gin basically dressed up as Don Krieg and took the charge for him.
Yep.
Like he was the one who got arrested on purpose so that the rest of them could get out. I'd actually completely forgot that. So that was crazy. And so, but in the end, despite all that dedication, Sanji's kindness is why Sanji's still alive today, right?
Yeah.
Gin was moved too much by it. So
Damn.
Krieg basically kills Gin. Honestly, that's how people realize. People think it's over for Gin because he took the poison with no mask on, and he passes out. But now that everything else is square, it's time for Luffy to shine, and Luffy versus Krieg starts. And straight up, Luffy is actually giving him the work the entire fight. There are times where he gets shot by the stakes as he's running up to him, but he just keeps going. And it's an important point here where Zeph points out to Sanji that he's running on pure grit. Luffy's the kind of guy that to get to his dream and his goals, he simply will not stop. And so once he gets to Krieg, Krieg tries to protect himself with his spiked cape. Luffy punches right through it.
It was epic, bro.
He's going nuts, bro. And he pulls out his, the bomb spear. Luffy gets hit by it a few times, like the bomb part, but actually ends up destroying the spear. And this is where, it seems like Luffy really has the upper hand, and he just keeps going. He sets him up with a Gum Gum Bazooka, and that destroys the golden armor. And despite this, actually, them being both launched in the air, Krieg isn't done, which is a surprise that someone lived a Gum Gum Bazooka this early on.
Yeah. Because he did have armor though.
Yeah, he did have his golden armor. Yeah. And that shit looked crazy. So Luffy ends it in the air by catching him with his he twists his feet up, his own feet, he just stretches them and then winds them up, grabs Krieg's head with his feet, and whips him into the ground in the Baratie with I think it was Gum Gum Giant Gavel is the move that he used. And that is how that fight ends. And honestly, he didn't really give Luffy much of a fight. I'm not gonna lie.
No, just what hurt Luffy the most was the environment.
Yeah,
because it was broken ships. Part of Baratie, Creed's broken ship also, and Luffy's just jumping from fucking mast to whatever's floating on the sea. Fighting. So if they were on land, it would have been way easier too.
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
Luffy goes to show you, he's called Monkey D. Luffy for a reason, and that motherfucker is jumping around, shows his adaptability in a fight like that, and I thought that was pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah. It goes to show that that level of strength that Krieg had, they got cooked in the Grand Line immediately. They didn't make it more than a day out there.
Because he wasn't a slouch. He wasn't a scrub at all. He wasn't a scrub at all. He did rely too much on his gadgets though.
Yeah, and he got cooked for it. And so after this, we actually see that Gin got some help from Patty and Karn. They gave him some antibodies, and he sees that Krieg lost, even though he can't believe it. He sees it, and at this point, Krieg's trying to get up. After he wakes up, but Gin simply knocks him out, punches him in the stomach, and it's yo, it's over, man. We gotta call it when it's done.
Let's start over again.
Yeah, exactly. They're gonna go out there and make it happen the right way this time. And he actually says to Sanji that I'm inspired by Luffy's and how hard and his grits to make it happen this time. So he and the Kreig Pirates leave, and the staff are celebrating. They're super happy. Luffy is in the water, so Sanji has to fish him out, and then
because that's hey, yo, you gotta go get him, bro. People touched by the devil fruits can't swim. And he's like, why'd you tell us that sooner, bro?
Oh yeah, come on, man, you gotta throw that down. But so Luffy's KO'd, and once he wakes up, Sanji's there chilling in the room, and he tells him, dude, I'm not gonna go with you to be a pirate. And Luffy's like, you know what? Okay. Even though he literally does not let him go with his hand. He's like, you can go. I understand. But it's here where Sanji, probably my favorite moment in the entire arc, he says, so yo, have you heard about the all blue? And he's smiling so wide, and he starts telling about how there's a place somewhere in the ocean where all the fishes from all the blues appear
Yeah.
and can be caught there. And it's like this fantastical place that it's it's like other mysteries that we hear about, and Sanji still believes in it. And Zeph sees him talking to Luffy about it, and he sees how much he lights up when he talks about it.
Bro,
And
Sanji, that picture and panel of Sanji, he lights up, y'all.
it's iconic. That
Yeah,
smile, that
yeah,
picture, like that frame, it's very iconic. And Zeph actually smiles seeing it. It's that Zeph smile really got me, and he's just happy to see it. So seeing this, Zeph makes the staff put on a little bit of a play and act like they don't like Sanji's cooking at all. They don't
yeah,
want him here. Like, get out of here. And Sanji sits outside after being shit on for no reason, and he can't really understand why. But then he hears them talking about it was hard to act like Sanji's food wasn't amazing,
yeah.
and it was hard to talk to him like
Cause
that.
Luffy was there still, and he tested, he tasted the soup, and he was like, "This is amazing." And then cause Sanji had left at the time, and then they were telling him like, "Oh, we can't, you know, tell Sanji that his food was good. Like, we need to tell it it's bad. Help him get out of here." And then Zeph asks Luffy to take him on his crew. You know.
Yeah, yeah, please, this. He wants to make it. He wants to get out there and see the all blue. So and it goes to show that that's Zeph's stamp of approval on Luffy and the Straw Hats.
Yeah.
Which is amazing to see, like someone like Red Leg Zeph respect them and feel fine that Sanji, basically his son, can be on their crew.
Yeah.
Um,
Ooh,
so after Sanji,
one thing to note, real
oh
quick.
yeah,
Uh, Chore Boy, he made the deal with Zeph when the Don Kriegs pirates attacked. He's out of his debt of doing chores for them if he defeats all the pirates.
yeah, and obviously he makes it happen. So
Yeah.
boom,
So
his debt has been paid. Goes to show that there's a lot of stuff that Luffy can't do, but fighting he's really good at.
yeah, can't do
And
dishes. Don't ask him to do dishes, bro.
never, never. So after hearing this, Sanji, decides that, like, yeah, you know what, it is time. And so we get to see Sanji walking away from the Baratie, Luffy, and I think Johnny and Yosaku might be with them.
Yeah.
And they're getting ready to leave, and he's like, "Oh, you're not gonna say goodbye?" And like Sanji's like, "Oh, we said all we had to say." And then Zeph says, from the top of the Baratie, he says, "Sanji, keep your feet dry." And I have to say, I like another line better where he says, "Don't catch cold." I think that one hits really hard. They're both amazing. And hearing this, Sanji instantly turns around, face full of tears, bows to Zeph and Baratie and the rest of the crew in a little bit, and the rest of the staff, and says, "Zeph, I'll never forget you as long as I live. You saved my life. Thank you so much."
Mm-hmm.
That scene actually makes me cry every single
Yeah,
time.
yeah, me too, bro. That shit was
It's the
beautiful. Like
best.
everyone's crying. Like Zeph was crying. All the cooks were saying thank you, Sanji. Sanji is just on his knees and all down, bro. Just thanking him for everything. Because
Yeah,
that
and
shit was beautiful.
it is, man. And we talk about how deep their connection is and how and how important it is, but we get to see the staff are crying about Sanji too. Even Patty and Karn, who had a lot
Yeah,
of issues with Sanji, like they're crying and they're really sad to see him go. It's one of the best goodbyes in the whole manga.
yeah,
And
definitely
uh
is.
and honestly, with that, with the heartfelt goodbye amongst men, uh that's really the end of the arc. They sail off to the next arc, which is Arlong Park.
Yep.
And that's it for the Baratie and Sanji's recruitment arc. Man, what an arc, man!
Arc S tier, like we said earlier.
That's absolutely.
That shit was beautiful.
It's crazy looking back how much important stuff happens, right? Like, we learned a lot about the Grand Line. We learned about Mihawk shows up. It's crazy, bro.
Yeah, the warlords we learned. Uh,
Yes, yes, yes.
you know, uh, just the character that Sanji is. Thanks to Zeph.
Yeah,
Uh, like, damn man, that shit got me. The
it's
ending is
amazing, bro.
so good, dude. And then like,
Yeah, the ending is the best part, man.
there's one thing that I feel like the live action did a little bit better was was his departure to Baratie. I feel like it was a little rushed. Wasn't
Mm.
as emotional as this one, as the
Yeah.
manga and the anime were. But
I
um,
think I think the manga. I think that's one of Oda's biggest strengths, right? Like, making us feel emotion.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm not surprised the manga ends up being the one on top. But it really hits hard. And I think one thing about this arc is the setup for the next one, right? We learn about the bounty hunting situation. Like, we see some more bounty hunters, Johnny and Yosaku. We see Nami looking at a bounty hunter poster. Someone, some dude with a 20 million bounty she's staring at very intently. And then she makes off with their treasure and their ship, the Merry Go. So it's very intriguing. And we wonder why Nami would, tearfully leave and go do her own thing. But all questions will be answered next arc.
Yeah. Man, I love this arc.
Yeah,
It was a great reread, and then I'm like, damn, I kind of like Don Krieg a little bit.
Yeah, he was feisty.
I don't know why he was feisty, but I really loved Gin a lot.
He's the man, bro.
And I can't wait to see them again.
Yeah, absolutely, man, absolutely. I think that might be it for us today.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you guys for joining us on the One Piece Runback with me, your boy Mr. G, and Huss.
Gang.
Thank you, Huss, for leading us today. It was awesome. Cheers, got me all emotional and shit. Oh man, but this is one of those arcs, guys, and definitely want to go back and reread, go back and watch. It's one of the best arcs in the live action too. So it's just like I said, this is one of the best, and we're so thankful for Oda. And he's also a foodie, and it's just it hit a whole bunch of emotions, and shows like the world building that Oda is building is vast.
Facts, absolutely.
And think about it, Zeph and Sanji aren't even father and son, even though they look like they could be father and son.
They do look very similar, but but that they basically might as well be.
Yeah, they might as well be. And now we got our fourth member?
Fifth, yeah, but now we're down one.
So yeah, fourth. So technically our official fourth member with Sanji. Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate it. Drop a sub. And we're gonna keep slowly giving you back more runbacks. I know this is one of the longer ones, but it's necessary because it was a big arc. There's a lot to talk about. But thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Please, like I said, drop a sub. Spread some love, and be safe, be healthy, and we'll see you guys when we see you.
Oh yeah, take care.
Peace. All right.
Nice, man. Good stuff. Okay, I'm being called, so I will have to cut it there, bro. Good.
Okay. So
stuff, man. Fun chat. Yeah.
So I'm going to upload it. If you want to release this later in the week, you can, or we can save it for next week. It don't matter.
If I'll see if I can, and if not, then next week. But I'll give it a look.
Yeah, because you would also have to make the thumbnail done.
Yeah, no big deal. I'll just look at what we did before.
Okay. Or just do more or less of what you've been doing, what we've been doing lately. I like how minimized we made it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I guess BARATIE arc, a big one, and then we'll figure it out though.
Yeah, we will. All right, bro. Have a great camping trip, man. Have a great time. Tell Clarissa I said the same thing.
We'll do.
Have a great time, bro. Give it a nice week off, bro.
Thank you, bro. I need it.
Oh, man. Yeah, hell yeah, man. Take care, bro. Peace.
All right, stream. That is it for me. Thank y'all for being here. It's your boy, Mr. G. We outie.
Who gon' get down? We are. This that straw hat, sit down. We are. Who the crew with the fleet? We are. Who gon' piece that one piece? We are. Who gon' get down? We are. This that straw hat, sit down. We are. Who the crew with the fleet? We are. Who gon' piece that one piece? We are. Straw hat, sit down, crew in the building. We promoting to these other podcasts. We gon' put these people in their feelings when they hear this, and they know that they can't top this. We spit facts and we poppin'. Every time an episode is dropping, we see D3 in the corner. Mister, that's a real G with the green screen in the background. Got him looking like he in a real scene. We got Big Mod in the cut. Always ready with rebuttals, but he bring the knowledge when we in the huddle, so you know the crew is never gonna fumble. And it's wise, last but not least, if you ask me, then Cali, mad the captain, make him rally around me. Every Sunday we gon' run deep, and we can't stop until we find out about that one piece. Who gon' get down? We are. This that straw hat, sit down. We are. Who the crew with the fleet? We are. Who gon' piece that one piece? We are. Who gon' get down? We are. This that straw hat, sit down. We are. Who the crew with the fleet? We are.